Hello, welcome to the Triangle Podcast, where today we will be discussing the overview of the week, what teams can be a real threat, who's the best player on every team, and our first month awards. And truthfully, we just did 20 minutes of our episode previously. And it crashed. I don't know what happened.
Big time struggle.
Anonymous got a hold. So, truthfully, we're not drained out because we were only 20 minutes deep, but we had good conversation, and y'all missed out. I'm sorry. I apologize. We'll try to remake it, but if anything comes off as less genuine, it might be true. But let's start it off with this is episode 6, and we're doing good so far. But how is everybody's Thanksgiving? How is your week going? Just like we do it every week.
I ate some good food, of course. Watched some football. Spent time with family. Played Taboo with my family. Had a great time.
I play Heads Up. I think not like the actual cards Heads Up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The app.
Yeah, the app. It was the app.
I went Black Friday shopping.
Screw you.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
I worked that Black Friday that he was shopping at, and it was terrible. I had a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift, a 12-hour shift. I was so drained. The best part of it was I worked for Adidas, and they did bring pizza.
Are you trying to plug?
And no, I'm not. I'm plugging Adidas. Yeah. Shout out to Adidas. Everything Adidas in my closet. But no, they brought pizza, and I had an hour break, and I kind of took advantage. Went for like an hour and a half. But being on register all of Black Friday, worst thing I ever experienced in my life. I want to cry, and I got to go back to work today, the day after, which is just as crazy. Oh, no. But yeah, I had a good Thanksgiving. My fantasy team's doing good. Beating Jesse. I came back in a very. I was getting killed last week, and I came back. So right now, everything's going pretty good besides work. And I'm off school, thankfully.
Yeah, that's true.
I had a little long weekend, paid day off, paid holidays, pretty nice. Just chill, watch some football, eat some food. Watch some interesting games through the past week. You know what I mean? Very interesting NBA schedule and what's going on.
This NBA schedule was, honestly, it was more packed than what I thought it was, and which is interesting. But
more happened than I thought it did.
Yeah, I really didn't know this much happened until I was really just like going over the week in my head, and I was like, wow, this happened. Oh yeah, this game. Like it was really almost a busy schedule, and it turned out pretty good. We started off with the Raptors versus Kings buzzer beater. That wasn't a buzzer beater, strangely. It was weird.
Yeah.
And it was Terrence Ross trying to get the ball out. Well, he did get the ball out.
Yeah.
He shot a 3 that would have brung the Raptors into overtime, and the referees reviewed it, and they still waved it off, even though he got it off in time. It was a weird situation.
Yeah,
I don't understand it at all.
How can they not get that right? They have replay reviews for a reason, you know what I mean? And, I don't understand that. What are they going to do with now? They're just going to leave that game alone? Because he clearly got off the shot. Terrence Ross made the 3 to go into overtime. Sam Casey was
Dwayne Casey.
Yeah, Dwayne Casey, I'm sorry. Well, he was about to get charged with assault or some shit. Because he was about to hit a ref.
Which is it's a big time missed call. Which everyone's seen it, you know what I mean? Even announcers were saying, what do the refs see? I thought maybe, something happened to play, someone's out of bounds when they touched the ball or not, but no, it was just this.
It was the shot. It was the shot they were complaining about, and I don't understand.
It was a blatant miss by the referees, which, I'm not saying. The referees have a tough job calling the whole game, especially towards the end of the game like that. It can be very hectic.
A lot of blame gets put on them, too.
And there's multiple refs out there, and maybe one ref couldn't see it a different way a ref could, so it's going to be a very controversial call. And which it helps the league a little bit, because when you see mistakes like this, and that means they got to...
Can improve.
They have to up their camera angles or something,
right? I don't, that should never happen. I feel like you got the replays there for a reason. They even go back to the center, the NBA center, which I forgot where it's at.
Oh, where?
The NBA referee center.
It's in New York, I think.
Right?
I think it's in Jersey or New York.
I know it's somewhere, but they even got that they always revert back to.
Yeah.
And, there's no reason for that to ever happen, especially when a game is on the line. And I was talking in it the last time, before the thing crashed, it's not like they could just, if it was a game-winning shot, they could just overturn the shot and be like, hey, yeah, we messed up. The game was going to end, and it was going to end with the Raptors on top. Yeah. But they can't even do that because
it was going into OT.
It was going into OT. It's not like they could play one quarter and be like, hey, let's ball out for this 5-minute OT. That can't happen.
It's very tough for them to play. And which sucks for Toronto, because they're in, you know what I mean, they're close together in such their wins and losses. I think who they tied with. Or
they're 10-6, tied second seed.
Yeah,
they're still doing good.
Those plays,
and they did have a hard schedule in the midst of a hard schedule. A win against Easy Kings, that would have benefited them. But
Yeah.
man, there's controversy of the week, and then we got a buzzer beater that did count with Lakers versus Thunder, which it was a great game throughout. And then you had Nick Young, ice in his veins, ended out stealing the pass from Lou Will and hitting a dagger 3 to put him over 2.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he really, because that play wasn't intended for him. It was intended for Lou Williams, and he literally came out of nowhere and just like, oh, I have the ball, chuck a 3, made it, and he was just like.
Terrible shot too.
Yeah,
it was a terrible shot.
I didn't think he was gonna make it, and then it went in. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like this man.
That's what Nick Young is all about. He's unpredictable.
Yeah,
a fun player.
Yeah, he takes those shots. And hey, if you're the Lakers and you really, you know what I mean, you don't really, you're not going to the finals. You know what I mean? You might as well, take shots like that.
And, Nick Young, he's a veteran now, and especially on a Lakers team that young, he's almost considered a leader. He's up there with Luol Deng, Mozgov, and Lou Will. Like, he's a leader on that team.
He has
and
a couple seasons on him. And
it's kind of funny to see Nick Young as they call him Uncle P, like Unc P. So, like, it's kind of funny to see him as like almost a role model.
Yeah.
And he's a fun player. He's good. And he's been going crazy since this season happened, and his defense been great.
15 points a game.
His relationship with Luke Walton must be really good, because
his relationship with D'Angelo Russell made him like a better player since
that's honestly that's one thing I found crazy, that it was a little questionable. It's still questionable about their relationship right now. And as soon as he hit the shot, what did he do? He did the ice in my veins.
Yeah. So I think D'Angelo liked that though.
Yeah. So clearly,
Kobe loved it too.
Kobe was watching at home. I'm like, man, maybe I gotta get back to the league. Like,
I'm gonna loosen up.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some jump shots. But what else happened this week? We had the Clippers beating the Raptors 123-115. Which I'm just glad to see the Raptors keeping up, because I want them to be a threat. A team like the Raptors who. Really, they never really were a threat. I mean, back in the Carter days, they were something, but they weren't. They weren't a threat, and I think East needs as much threat as they can get. And the Clippers looking pretty sharp, I would say. So
best team in the league, arguably.
Who?
The Clippers.
Oh, Clippers?
Yeah.
No, like I said, the Cleveland Cavaliers have to be.
I don't know.
First off, they're the champions. They have the best player in the NBA. They're playing the best basketball. They found their niche. You know what I mean? Last year they struggled with Kevin Love getting into the rotation, how they can get him the ball more.
And now they got it.
Yeah, and now this guy's putting up 34 in the first quarter. So I'm saying the Cleveland Cavaliers are just going to get better through the season, and they're my pick already to win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
The Cavs?
Yes.
Over the Warriors?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think Clippers are the best team in the Western Conference. I don't think they're the best team in the NBA. I don't think they're better than the Spurs either, to be honest. I don't almost see them as a threat yet, and we do have a segment about this later, so we'll dive into it more then. But speaking of LeBron, K-Love and LeBron getting it together, Cleveland versus Blazers 137-125, where we had K-Love spark it up in the first quarter.
I'm just
34 points, 8 threes.
I'm a little confused about that game. Was no one playing defense?
I don't think so.
Like, this wasn't an overtime score.
You have to remember the Blazers are last in defensive efficiency. They're so they're a pretty bad defensive team. So
hey, that's good. If you could put up a lot of points against another team, that that helps. But yes, defense they do win championships.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course.
And that just shows you that I think Cleveland is just so far ahead of the game right now.
Yeah, no one's going to dethrone them.
And I think Steph Curry's still icing his ankles after that shot that Kyrie put him on in the finals. So it's going to be a great final.
Yeah, speaking of Blazers, we had the Knicks beating the Blazers 107-103. Close game. Very close game. Yeah. That's a good win for the Knicks, man.
With the struggling Trailblazers, it was a good win, but at the same time, we're playing the worst defensive team in the league, so...
You guys have been picking up lately.
Of course.
3-game winning streak.
It's good for the Knicks. It's good for the Knicks because these are the games that they need to win.
Yep, of course.
If they want to make it to the 8th seed, you know what I mean, or make it to the playoffs. Period.
The games where the team's talent level is almost on par with them.
Yeah, and Kristaps Porzingis, that just shows you this guy's gonna get better through the season. Remember what he did to Dirk after he made that fadeaway?
He pointed right at him. He was like,
"I got your shot down."
Yeah.
Speaking of Kristaps Porzingis, Jesse sent us a screenshot in the group chat talking about who should be a first option on the team, Melo or Porzingis, and what you guys think about that?
I'm split between both. Melo's the better player. Porzingis is unpredictable. I'm gonna put both aspects out. I think Porzingis at the 1 would be a really good decision because he's unpredictable, like you said. He could shoot
and the future to him for him to get that now in a Knicks that I would say is rebuilding. To be honest,
yeah, they are.
They're trying at least. It's just hard with no picks.
And then Melo at the 2. I think it would bring less pressure to Carmelo because it's Carmelo Anthony, and the defenses are always looking at Carmelo as the number 1 option. He's the biggest threat. But at the same point, I think Melo is the number 1 option because he's a better player. He has more offensive skills than Porzingis as of right now. Because he's been in the league longer. He's a veteran. He's an all-star. But Porzingis, he put up 36 points the other night. You know what I mean? And he had another 30-point outburst.
He's doing great.
And
he's doing great.
Playing amazing.
The thing is with Kristoff, to be better and to become the number 1 option, he has to be a little more consistent. To become a threat and become a perennial all-star, he needs to be in some categories of top 10, like he maybe in scoring or rebounds, show his dominance in more consistent games for him to be the number 1 option. And we already know that Carmelo's one of the best scorers in the league right now.
Yeah.
So, yes, Carmelo will still be the number 1 option, but if Kristaps Porzingis could somehow get his name into those all-stars or rising up to be an all-star, and if their coach can get them in more of a flow, you know what I mean? Somehow, who's going to score the ball when they're in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was saying how I feel like you don't need a first option. Like the Lakers don't have a first option.
Yeah, I don't think the
Warriors.
I
don't think the Warriors have a first
Cavs
option.
don't either.
It's really what team is what player is working the best that day.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's how it should be for the Knicks. Almost, I feel like you should have Porzingis or Melo basically not fight for the first option, but just work together as the first option together.
Yeah, because sometimes it could be confusing, and it could be harder for Derrick Rose too, because he's not a pass-first point guard.
He's an aggressive scoring point guard, and he's not a great shot either. So
no, he doesn't have a great shot, but he can go to the rim as easy as anyone else in the game, and which could be tough for them at times. Which I think that's what they're struggling, not because they can't play the game, it's just how they have the guys out there playing it. First of all, they have to scratch to try and go off completely with the players that they have. But I think the Knicks, if they can get on a roll and get their players playing at the position that they need them at, then they'll go really far in the playoffs.
Yeah, while we're talking about the Knicks, they did beat the Hornets just last night in OT 113-111. Jesse, how you feel about that one?
Had 35 points. He had 14 rebounds. He had 5 assists. He played really well. In overtime, he took over the game, of course, because Clutch Melo, of course. And who was guarding him? Michael Gilchrist. Yeah, and that's not an easy defender because he's 6'8".
Yeah, he's a great defender, actually. Very, very athletic. He was struggling last year, but you can see that his game has developed. And even the whole team has become a better team. So it's not like the Knicks beat a scrub team. They're one of the best teams in the NBA right now.
And Michael Gilchrist is actually a really solid player. He's averaging almost 9 rebounds a game at a small forward.
Yeah, he's a big guy. You know what I mean? He struggles sometimes with his shot, but the guy can grab boards and he can defend really well. And Carmelo Anthony just.
He made a good shot last night.
Yeah, they gave it to him. They dished him. He was in he's not in 3. He was like right center court.
He was backing him down in the post, and he turned around
and he shot it in his face. He didn't even do a turnaround. Kemba Walker came around, tried to double team a little bit, but then D Rose got free, and Carmelo Anthony basically doesn't hit him with a jab step, no step. He just jumped up. Got a little bit higher, his hand was in the face, and, just vintage Melo. And that's what it shows you. Melo still has his killer instinct. And that team can be really, really good if they get their act together.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean...
They're sitting at 8-7, and they play the Hornets again tonight, so maybe they'll win again.
Yeah, I feel like I honestly, when we were talking about the Phil Jackson argument, if he could do a better job, I feel like they got solid pieces there, man.
They really do.
They really do. And before the season started, I seen Knicks on paper, and I was like, yo, I could see them in 4th seed. I could see them 5th seed.
Yeah, me too.
They're a solid team, man. They should be there.
Joakim Noah needs to come off the bench. I don't want him starting.
Joakim Noah needs to go
get off the team.
He needs to get off the league.
Yeah.
What happened to that man?
That's like one. What happens to his game? It's not even what happens to him because he's still around. He's still making big time money, but just he struggles in everything.
He's not the same player.
His skill is gone.
Yeah, his young years, he was really good at defending the paint, but now he's not. You can tell that he's slowing down. And, you know, when usually guys slow down, they start to develop maybe a piece of their game, maybe develop their shot, you know what I mean?
And we seen that one shot he took that went
God.
viral.
I don't understand when he shoots the ball, it's like it gets shot on the axis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't...
His jump shot is just so weird.
It's very weird. Like, he double hands it, it rotates in a weird... Like, you know, it doesn't
angle.
have a nice spin.
And it doesn't even hit the net.
Joakim Noah, I love your heart and how tough
I loved what his heart used to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like even that's lacking. That was what I was gonna say. Like he didn't have the best skill back then. He was just a great defender who played with a ton of energy, hustle, and heart. And now I feel like all that's gone, man.
Yeah, I really do.
He can barely grab a board anymore.
It's looking like it, yeah. And he's been on the bench because he's sick. Yeah. Like, we're playing better without him.
Like Dwight Howard I don't think Dwight Howard's contract is almost as much as they make. And Dwight Howard is dominating for the Hawks. You know what I mean? And that's a guy who's injury driven. You know what I mean?
Struggling with multiple teams,
and now he finally
controversy.
Found his niche, you know what I mean?
Now that he's back in the East, I think that's been helping him.
Yeah.
A lot.
So Joakim Noah needs to get traded or
get his act together,
or go on a shot or something because it's terrible.
Yeah. Speaking of teams that are trying to get it together, we had the Grizzlies versus Philadelphia 76ers, 104-99 in double OT. And I mentioned this because this was the game where Embiid kind of spazzed a bit because he couldn't play that OT.
Yeah. And that's just because, you know, the minutes restriction that he's on and, you know, not playing back-to-back games. But he's playing with a lot of emotion. And he's really...
That's great to see, man.
Really it is, especially for Philadelphia.
And he's a really good player. Like, I've never seen a guy... Well, maybe Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Davis. But next to him, guys who are just coming straight out of college.
And having this energy, you know?
He's playing with such confidence, such skill.
And
my man is doing... He's doing great from the three-point line.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? The way he can shoot, the way he can spread out the floor for his guys, it's amazing to see. And I think Joel Embiid is going to be one of the best centers in the league once he, you know, gets healthier, once he's off that minutes restriction.
I wish he never got hurt because if he came into the league healthy out of Kansas, 3rd overall pick when it was 2014 he got drafted, he would honestly, I could see him as an all-star right now if he was healthy.
I wish he could take like the Gatorade packs in 2K, and so I could see him in full form because he's an all-star in full form, man.
Excellent.
He's going to be one of the best big men alive.
I just really can't wait to see them. Maybe get a guard or somebody who could drive the ball up the court. Even though Ben Simmons can do it when he becomes healthy.
He's more of a forward though.
Yeah, but he's like a LeBron James.
Honestly, I would say put Ben Simmons on the point when he comes back.
Yeah, he'd be a point forward.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
And get some guys who can shoot the ball because that's where they struggle too. Because Covington, he's supposed to be a 3-point shooter. And I've seen him live. I've seen him on.
When I saw him live, he was lighting it up. I loved Covington. Yeah.
I don't know. Like just the games I see, I just can't see him shoot the
They're
ball.
gonna get more. They're gonna get better players in the future.
And honestly, they had some shooters. They had Isaiah Cannon. They had Jody Meeks. They had Covington.
Yeah. And
at one point, it was a squad of shooters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They picked their game up a little bit, and I'm happy to see the direction that 76ers are going in.
They're gonna be contenders. Mm-hmm. We all know they will be.
Contenders.
Yes.
In the future.
Speaking of teams that are trying to get it in the right direction, we had Golden State absolutely cremate the Lakers.
Yeah.
Burned them alive.
They just turned them over and didn't look back.
Yeah.
They beat them 149 to 106. Let's talk about it, man.
I just feel like
is that a record? Is that the most points scored in a game?
No.
No.
I mean, you gotta put OT into consideration.
Yeah.
Maybe in regulation time.
Probably in regulation.
When I saw 149 points, I was like, that has to be a record of some sort.
Yeah. But once again, they put a fork in them early and just kept, you know what I mean? They put their foot on them. Yeah, they put their foot on them and stepped even harder. Which I didn't like what the Warriors did. Trying to, what were you proving then? You know what I mean?
I think they were proving to Luke Walton, like, hey, you left the championship team.
Yeah,
they're not that ego driven.
They have a lot of love because they have a lot of love for Luke Walton because
of course,
he had a coach option.
He should have been coach of the year.
I just don't see what's entertaining about that. You know what I mean? And guys, lighten up the score. What are they trying to prove? Yes, Warriors. We know that you're probably the best team.
Well, they did lose by 20 to the Lakers.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get revenge.
Yeah, which that proves nothing. though. That just proves that the Warriors are really the evil.
They're really the villain of the league, and I never think I'll see the day
because everyone hates them.
Just last year, it was like, Curry and Claire, just like they just lovable people that are fun as hell.
Splash Brothers, and now everybody's like, you were gunning for the Warriors.
Yeah. Because KD's there now, and I don't know. I just don't feel like getting into the Laker topic real quick. I don't think the Lakers. I want them to be in the playoffs. Talking to Christian about this because I know he's a diehard Laker fan. I want them to be in the playoffs because they deserve it because of I think Kobe's gone now and they're rebuilding and they have all these players, all these good veteran players and all their young core players. I really want them to go to the playoffs, but it's too early. But I'm going to make a I hope so, but at this point in the season, they're the 28th ranked defensive team in the league, and if your defense is that bad, I'm sorry, you're not going to make the playoffs.
See, my counter for that, I mean, I don't have a counter. I know our defense is back. Yeah. But we are still a young team, and we are trying to get it together. Mm-hmm. We have Dang, who I thought we signed for defense, and I'm not impressed by him whatsoever. Mozgov is doing great defensively. We have Tark Black, he's a big man. He's a good defender. I like Tark Black. And we got Ivica Zubic, these are players you might not know yet. Yeah. These are Zubic we just drafted this year. And his nickname was Zoo Block. I mean, he hasn't got love yet. He's going to still develop and everything.
And Larry Nance. You know what I mean? They have Larry Nance on the team. And I think the Lakers are really going to get better. And I think they're going to make it to the playoffs just because Utah's struggling right now with getting wins and staying in games. And they're confused about their identity. And even the Timberwolves, for some reason, they're disappointed.
Honestly, Timberwolves aren't going to make. They have no chance at this point.
I don't think so.
Unless they make a move.
Yeah.
Because didn't you mention something about how they're going to trade one of their young
that's
players
exactly what I don't want to see. This is teams that are afraid to rebuild or they're afraid it's going wrong.
Yeah, they come out really fast.
You got Wiggins and Towns, and there was a report.
If they trade one of those players, like if they trade LaVine, Wiggins, or Towns, they're making a huge mistake. Like Zach LaVine.
Or LaVine, yeah.
Like, did you see his 360 dunk the other day
or even done for that matter, bro?
Like, come on. Yeah.
Listen,
people gotta good players.
People gotta learn from 76ers almost and trust the process, man. It's gonna be a process. Yeah. You can't expect to win right away. Yeah, they got great players. Karl-Anthony Towns is 21 years old?
No, 20.
Oh my God! Like, come on, man. You can't expect a 20-year-old team to just climb through the standings.
We had more expected for them because of
the talent they brought into the season,
and Thibodeau too.
Tom Thibodeau. But
while we're on the topic of defense, man, I'm not even gonna lie. So Thibodeau, defensive-minded coach. Mm-hmm. The Timberwolves defense isn't looking any better. But granted, they still are young.
Yeah, once again, they're really young. You know what I mean? These guys, they were one-and-done guys who are, great offensive players. But that's what the problem with the NBA is this time of day. You know what I mean? If you don't have veteran guys who used to play back in the day or train really hard on defense, like a Coach Popovich, who's a very old player, very old coach who's defensive-minded, which you got guys playing defense, and it's just hard now. Everything's about offense. No one's really excited to be, I'm the best defensive player in the league, or I'm a shutdown player. Besides probably Kawhi Leonard, you know what I mean?
Who doesn't talk at all, so you don't know what he's thinking.
He's a different type of player.
Or Draymond thinking.
Does Kawhi Leonard have a Twitter? Think about it now.
I don't know. I've never seen any of his social media.
I don't think my man literally lives in a hole.
Yeah. So when you have guys who don't really like to play defense that much, and young guys who just want the ball to get in the basket because that's all that matters, it can be a really big struggle. And you can see that the Timberwolves are struggling in that matter.
Yeah. Defense is really almost like a lost art. If you look down every game that's been happening this whole season, it's just been 100-point games after 100-point games after.
After Dwight Howard had his whole streak of defensive players, I was wondering who, Joakim Noah was the defensive player of the year. I'm like, how is this guy a defensive player of the year? This guy can't even jump to block a ball, you know what I mean? And Marcus Saul, another year, who is a good defensive player, but I think someone else deserved it more than he did. And Tyson Chandler, these guys, you're like... Really
you don't think of them as defensive player of the year almost.
They're good defensive players, but not of the entire NBA season.
Yeah, and it's a lost art that people don't see, and that's why Kawhi Leonard, he's a small forward and won it twice, back to back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, while we're on this topic of defensive players, let's do our awards for the season. So, let's run through them all. Who you got for the MVP of the season so far, a month in?
I'm split between Harden and Westbrook. I would give it more to Harden.
I don't.
Because look at Westbrook. He's putting up triple-doubles, but his team's not good enough. And I don't think, as an MVP player, no matter what, if you're putting up triple-double numbers throughout an entire NBA season, you deserve to be the MVP. No matter what your team record is, but that can
and
be
they're
argued.
both putting up triple doubles. That's the weird thing. But like
James Harden, I think, is more deserving of the MVP because.
But why? He has more options on that team, and Westbrook has no options.
But you think he has more options? I don't know.
With Ryan Anderson and Aaron Gordon,
But look how James Harden is playing though. Like he's putting up like 15 assists every other night.
When I talk about guys who are MVP, I need some guy who can actually play both sides of the floor. His defense is so
I know.
pitiful.
It's bad. I know that.
That's what I mean. Then you can't be the first option on your team. Then you can't be the number one player on your team. When I think of most valuable, it has to be two guys, and I know one guy won't win it because his team won't be in the playoffs. Is Anthony Davis. I've just never seen a team that literally he is the team. He's so dominant when he's out on the floor.
Yeah.
That
because he's putting up 31 points a game.
Yeah, it's insane what he's doing. He's 31 points a game, with rebounds,
3 blocks,
10, basically 11 rebounds a game. Like what he's doing is insane. And another one is Westbrook. You know what I mean?
Because he's putting up 32 and he's putting up 11 assists too.
Yeah, he's number 2. He's right behind Harden in assists.
Mm.
And this guy, when he's out on the floor, the team is so much better. They beat the Clippers. They beat good teams with them out there.
Yeah.
Jesse, while I'm about to talk him excuse me. While I'm about to dive into what my thoughts are, can you look up the last MVPs? Because I want to find a last MVP that wasn't on like a top 4 team in the league.
Okay.
So what I feel is, I don't think it could be Westbrook because the team's not going to be good enough. Yeah. And I don't even know about Harden if his team's going to be good enough. I both think they're playing their heart out. Well, maybe
and
not.
Anthony Davis too.
Yeah, Anthony Davis as well. But Westbrook is really putting up big O numbers. Yeah. He's gonna set records this year.
James Harden, I can tell James Harden is not going to lead the league in points. Yeah. And he might lead the league in assists. I do believe that.
I got the list.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to lead the league in points.
Harden, he's a terrible defender. We know that. He's a great offensive player, and I feel like MVP is almost offensive minded.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I don't want Harden to win. Mm-hmm. I want Westbrook to win. I don't think his team's going to be good enough, but I won't be surprised if it goes to like a Kawhi Leonard. Because when you want to talk about MVP, you're thinking about a valuable player. He's on a top 3 team in the league.
I can't see,
and he's playing both sides. I can't see him winning it only because that's his personality.
Yeah,
you can't see him winning at all.
Maybe Defensive Player of the Year, but that's it.
But I really think if Westbrook somehow does, because right now he's averaging 32, 10, and 9.8 for rebounds.
Right there.
I think if his team is in the playoffs.
And he averages a triple-double, he better win MVP. If he doesn't win MVP, that's bogus.
And also, he been doing this constantly. So, he has not that you ripped him off, but like there was
6 triple-doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Not that you ripped him off, but it's not like it's almost like Leonardo DiCaprio on the Oscars. He's been giving such great performances that one of these is gonna get him his award. You know what I mean? It might be this year. It might be this year.
If you average a triple double, it hasn't been done since the 70s.
Oscar Robertson.
Now I got one question about MVP. Do you think Kevin Durant has a chance? My man is averaging 27 points a game and 8 rebounds and 5 assists.
Maybe he probably won't because once again you have to be the most. When I think of MVP and guys
on your
who
team,
are voting, you have to be the most valuable piece to your team, and he's not. Because if Kevin Durant wasn't out there, it'd still be putting up insane numbers. You have a 2-time MVP already, was already on that team.
I agree entirely.
And, you know what I mean?
I agree.
So I just don't see they will give it to him because he's not the most valuable piece on that team.
No, I truly think Westbrook deserves it though. But
and LeBron James will still be in the argument too because he is probably the most valuable person on the team. This guy led his.
He's playing less games and
he's still almost averaging a double-double.
You can never count LeBron out of any MVP argument.
Oh no,
because he is the most valuable player.
He's the best player in the league.
Yeah.
But can you read me that list off, and we'll discuss to see where was the last
the last 2 seasons we had Curry.
Team.
The season before that, KD.
Oh yeah, that's right. No,
2 seasons before that, LeBron back to back.
Derrick Rose. That team was first in the seed, I think, maybe second.
Yeah. And then they went to these conference finals, got blasted by the Heat. LeBron James twice in a row again, but that was when he was on Cleveland.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe,
so
right?
But he was the most valuable piece on the team.
Player,
but I'm pretty sure that was still he was still first seed almost. Yeah, even in them Cleveland days.
Yeah, and then Kobe in 2008,
where we won the finals. So that just shows how good a team was.
Dirk Nowitzki in 2007.
I think they won. They went to the finals that year.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
No. Western Conference
was that
Finals.
the year?
Because the Spurs went to the finals.
So these are all great teams. I don't know.
Steve Nash twice. I disagree with that. Kobe,
I do too.
Kobe should have won that MVP in 2005.
Speak on, my brother.
Oh my god.
You preach.
Tim Duncan, Spurs.
Yeah, like where do we see a team?
Allen Iverson, 2001.
Yeah.
The team went to the finals.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they lost.
Then Shaq, Karl Malone, Jordan. Okay, we're getting.
Okay, so like what I'm saying is, when would you ever see a 6 seed team with a player winning MVP?
Hey,
And if Thunder makes a 6 seed right now, they're fighting for that 7th, 8th seed spot.
But once again, you got Steph Curry was the unanimous MVP, and he just read down all these guys are Hall of Famers, and none of them. Well, maybe D Rose is suspect. They're all guys who
are going to be Hall of Famers.
Yeah, they weren't unanimous. You telling me LeBron James, Michael Jordan, all these guys weren't unanimous MVPs, but Steph Curry was?
Yeah.
I don't think he should have won unanimous MVP.
At one point, he was looking like most improved player of the year, and he won MVP last year, and I completely think that is deserved, but that's a different argument.
Some things change, you know what I mean? Some voters see, wow, this guy is literally working so hard to get his team into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That you have to, because when I see MVP, it has to be the most valuable piece.
And it's all voted through media. It's not voted through like
coaches, players.
Yeah.
I honestly think Westbrook is going. I feel like when you say MVP, that is a category most valuable. That is a category that Westbrook fits in perfectly.
Oh yeah.
And truthfully, I hope he gets it.
Even when he was on OKC, arguably he was in MVP discussion. You know,
he always was. But now we got other awards, which like most improved player. Who would you give that to?
I'm going to give it to my boy Harrison Barnes, to be honest, because if you look at it, you guys might disagree, but Harrison Barnes, he might be the future of that team because Dirk's on his way out. They're looking for other players to rebuild with Harrison Barnes. Like their point guard right now is an aging Darren Williams. Mm-hmm. They have Seth Curry, who's not the best player, obviously. They have Andrew Bogut. You know what I mean? So I think Harrison Barnes is going to get most improved player because he's the best player on that team right now.
Do you agree, Jesus?
With Harrison Barnes, yeah, I can see that because I think he's averaging 22.
Yeah, he's averaging 22.
The problem that I have with that is when I see most improved, I feel like they should stay on the same team and they should almost like, wow, this guy wasn't doing that last year on this team, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like just getting traded away, all we did was see Harrison Barnes, the same one that was on the Warriors, just in his full potential. Because, you know what I mean? He was just not held back anymore. He's getting way more minutes. He's getting way more shine now. And even Mavericks, who else are their options, man?
No one.
Dirk is injured. They have nobody.
Yeah, he's
going
to retire soon.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think he improved greatly. But I'm more leaning towards Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Which, one of the hardest names to pronounce.
Yeah, but I feel like I do it pretty good. But yeah, my man went from...
That's a good one.
Man, he's killing it right now. And also another one, which I told you guys I had players in the bag, and you guys were sleeping. Miles Turner.
Miles Turner is good.
Miles Turner is a good one. You can't tell me otherwise. I think Miles Turner deserves it just like anybody else does. He went from averaging, I don't know exactly what he averages last year, but now he's averaging in the high teens, maybe even 20 points a game and 2 blocks.
Maybe a double-double. Close to it at least.
You know who I'm putting on the list that was, people probably like, oh, why him? Andrew Wiggins. Like this man, the way he's scoring now, it looks like he's
a different player this year.
Like he's dominant. He wants the ball in his hand. He wants to take all the shots. He's putting career highs up. And you can see it through the couple of seasons that he played, from his rookie season averaging 17 to next season averaging 21. Now this season he's averaging 24 points a game, so we can see progression on the team. And he's putting up
24 points a game.
24 points a game, yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, I agree with you then, and I don't know how they look at most improved player. Like, is it really just how far your statistics jumped, or is it like how much did you really work on it? Because if we're talking about statistics jumping, Harrison Barnes would be it, but there's things that are bigger than statistics, obviously. Like Tim Frazier, just because he came from nothing.
Yeah, but now Drew Holiday's back.
It's just hard to put Harrison Barnes. Yes, he's doing really great, but then there's no options on the team. And the team is, 2-16, 2-14?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They scored like 60 points the other night.
Giannis and Miles Turner, they have options on the team. Giannis has Greg Monroe, he got Parker, he got Chris Middleton. He got some options on that team. Dellavedova. But yeah, man, he's
people on that team. I like Andrew Wiggins.
He's great to watch too.
I like Andrew Wiggins a lot because I can see him in a couple years being in MVP maybe category if his team gets a lot better. Multiple All-Stars, so you can see his progression is it's happening. It's not like, it's not spotty.
You know what Kobe said about him, right? He's gonna be the next Kobe Bryant.
He could.
Kobe said that to Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, maybe. He's very athletic and he's working on his shot. You got to work on a little more.
He's getting better.
Shot.
He's getting better every year.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Which is what you want to see from a player, man.
Obviously.
That's great.
And I feel like that's what Harrison Barnes was supposed to be when he came out of North Carolina, slowly progressing to be almost an all-star.
I think he was held back in Golden State. That's why I think he'd be most improved player, because he's on a team now where he's putting up 22 points a game.
He could express his talent.
Exactly. He could do what he wanted to do.
Now he needs to be a little bit better of a leader, because you only win it when the 76ers have a better record than you. You really have a problem.
Yeah.
That's true.
And sixth man of the year, who would you guys give it to?
You want to go first?
I could see everyone's pick is Luol Deng. I mean, not Luol Deng.
Lou Will. Hell no, not Luol Deng.
Yeah, no, Lou Will, because the guy's averaging 16 points a game.
He's the leading scorer on the Lakers.
Yeah, he's the leading scorer on your team. He's a really good veteran. He's, he has a mind for the game. He's almost like a Jamal Crawford, basically, on that team.
I mean, he won it before.
Yeah, he's won it before. You know what I mean?
Six man like Lou Will.
And the games the people that they beat, like the Warriors and
the Hawks.
And the Hawks. Like, these are
good playoff, potential playoff teams.
They're good wins, and he's a part of it. And with Russell out right now, he has no problem putting his foot in the door and being like, "Hey, I could be the leader on this team."
Yeah, I mean, he is a very big veteran for that team, helping us out more than any of the other ones. But yeah, I agree. What I don't think anybody should sleep on is Zebo. He's coming off the bench now. He's averaging 14, 15 points a game, getting 8 rebounds a game. He's no scrub, and Grizzlies are looking like a great team. They're 10-6.
Surprisingly,
truthfully, I think the only Grizzlies game I watched was against the Clippers. And I'm besides highlights, so I mean, it's not like I don't have. I just don't really have the attention for Grizzlies like that, because I don't think anybody wants to see a Grizzlies game.
Yeah.
But
I'd have to go with Lou Will. I'd have to agree with Jesus.
Also, part of all these awards is basically like, it's also who gets the most attention.
Yeah.
For MVP, it's always who gets the most attention. Rookie of the Year, it's always an attention award. So I would say Lou Will too. But Coach of the Year.
Well, everyone says Luke Walton, and who I was going to give it to in the beginning of the season, because I thought they were going to be a lot better, was Scott Brooks.
Oh, okay.
On Washington, you know what I mean? But obviously their team is not doing too well.
Maybe worst Coach of the Year.
Yeah. I thought they were going to be a lot better, but how could you not give it to Luke Walton? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The team turned around completely.
Honestly, going into this year, I wasn't expecting Luke Walton to be Coach of the Year, but he's looking phenomenal, man. He literally brung a team that was down in the dirt, and they're coming up HC 19. I didn't have these expectations for the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan, and I don't think I think I had him 10th seed.
Yeah.
He wasn't nowhere on my list. Yeah. And also, I feel like everybody's Coach of the Year going into this year couldn't be Steve Kerr, just because is it really coaching at that point? Like your team is amazing.
Cleveland.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say Ty
Lue,
because he's being smart.
What
with
about
LeBron.
Doc Rivers too?
I don't think Doc Rivers.
Maybe.
Just because your team is literally in the same spot it always is. Unless they get further, unless they get into the Western Conference Finals, they've been in the same spot.
But you can say that with Tyronn Lue too.
No, it's the first time he's a full season head coach.
Yeah, but his team is still in the same spot.
Not really. Well, this is the first time he's going to be the head coach of that team. You know what I mean? Because he was halfway.
Once again, it's almost a Warriors argument, man. You got 3 All-Stars on your team. You should be doing that good.
Well, yeah, but Steve Kerr won it.
4 All-Stars on the team?
Yeah. Yeah, Draymond Green's an All-Star.
I'm talking about with the Cavs.
Oh, with the Cavs.
Yeah. No. I threw me off. I was like, J.R. Smith's an All-Star now? You love the Warriors today, Jeff.
Yeah, so Lou Will is going to be his first season. He technically is still a rookie head coach.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And before the season, I was thinking maybe Brad Stevens, but even that.
Yeah,
I like Brad Stevens a lot.
But I don't know. I mean, the Celtics are going through injuries that a coach can't even. He has no
go around and fix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Al Horford is still dealing with some injuries, but he played the other game.
Now, what about Defense Player of the Year? Which this is almost a harder award because they don't ever show love to guards.
I'm gonna have to give it to either Kawhi or DeAndre Jordan.
How about Rudy Gobert?
That's what I'm saying.
How is he not in this conversation, averaging almost 3 blocks a game?
Whiteside
was Anthony Davis.
Whiteside is getting just as much. Like,
Yeah,
and
but their
Davis
team,
too.
Their team is garbage.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? So obviously you're not stopping them good enough. And what is it? Utah's 8th seed in there somewhere.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, most likely.
I keep saying that.
Hopefully not.
Flirting with the playoffs.
Hopefully not.
He's averaging a double. You know, and it's sometimes with the defensive player of the year, it's sometimes it's not a stat. It's just that guys, when you go to Utah, it's going to be hard. He's the longest wingspan. He's a 7'9" wingspan.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Not that he's going to block a shot. He's definitely going to give you a hard time.
I don't understand how that's possible.
Yeah, it's insane. He's definitely going to give you a hard time of putting the shot in the air, and he's most likely 99% chance he's going to grab the rebound. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe he's not getting steals or guarding guys one-on-one, but he definitely is probably the best ring protector in the
No, I agree with you entirely, but what's up with this whole defensive player of the year always going to centers, man? Because centers is like the least dominant position in the NBA now.
Yeah.
So why should it go to centers? Honestly, you said Kawhi or DeAndre. I'm leaning more towards Draymond Green. He has the best.
Yeah,
he has one of the best defensive ratings in the league. And that man's always just nasty. Mm-hmm. He's been doing great defensively this year.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Kawhi's going to steal it.
And we're gonna see when they have these close games against Clippers and Spurs and even the Thunder that he's gonna be the one to be locking players up. It's gonna be him. Mm-hmm. And I think Draymond Green might pull us out. But how about our last award? How about Rookie of the Year? Do we all have the unanimous choice?
Are
we gonna have the first unanimous Rookie of the Year? Has that ever happened? I don't know.
It should be.
It should be a unanimous.
He's playing like he's an all-star.
Do you think Joel Embiid is gonna win Rookie of the Year?
Why not?
I'm messing with you.
I was about to say, Jesse, are you serious?
Yeah, Joel Embiid, he's gonna be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I mean, random. Talking about contenders for everything. Jamal Murray just put up 18 points a game. So
yeah,
hope there.
Yeah, but you got to average
the Bulls,
18,
right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but Joel Embiid is literally almost averaging 18 points a game. If you put him in per 36 minutes a game,
22,
that'd be insane.
22 minutes a game, like.
He's doing absolutely phenomenal. So that's going to wrap up the categories for the awards so far a month in the season. Maybe we'll do this next month, after December hits. 18. Out in 22. How many minutes does it say?
No, probably just what? 20?
Probably like
22 minutes a game.
22 minutes a game. Unreal. Now, while we're talking about all these great players on every team, let's talk about the best player on every team. So let's dive into it in the alphabetical order. Atlanta, who do you got?
Atlanta is probably, that's a hard choice, but it has to be Paul Millsap. You know what I mean?
What?
No? I see. This is why I wanted to do it because I know.
That's Dwight, boy.
Why Dwight?
Come on now.
I don't have Dwight. I got Dennis Schroeder.
Get out of here.
Well, he's a ball dominant. He's gonna have the
ball all the time.
Paul Millsap averages the most on the team, and Dennis Schroeder is right under. And I feel, and obviously Paul Millsap he's getting more rebounds, but Dennis Schroeder is taking control of that team.
Yeah,
he's doing really good.
He's doing a great job as a point guard. He's 23 years old. I think he's the best player on the team.
But I think if you look at it,
Paul Millsap's probably the best power forward in the East. There's not one next to him.
Kevin Love.
Paul Millsap is, but Kevin Love's not going to average that the whole night. He's not averaging most points on the team. You know what I mean? So
Kevin Love is a better player than Paul Millsap.
Paul Millsap.
Yes.
Paul Millsap is
Jesus. He's averaging 20 points a game on a team with LeBron and Kyrie.
Yeah,
yes,
but we know
he is the best.
We know LeBron James.
He was an MVP contender before. You're telling me
Millsap, when he was on Utah, he was. No,
he wasn't like Kevin Love was.
No,
you're getting absolutely
I think
asinine, blasphemous.
I think Dwight Howard. The reason why they're so good this year is because I think if they didn't get Dwight Howard, they'd be looking at the bottom of the East right now. I'm sorry, but Dwight Howard's bringing that.
That team was already.
No, how would they be looking at the bottom of the East?
The Hawks were good last year.
Yeah, they went to the playoffs,
but they weren't good like they were the previous season.
Okay.
They had Horford.
Yeah, but they wanted to trade everybody. You know what I mean? So I really think if you look at it, Dwight Howard's bringing that attitude back to Atlanta.
They were just a first seed in the East a few years ago.
Yeah,
man.
but then what they dropped to, like 6th or something.
They're gonna stay this. They're fifth right now. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Dwight does have some really good numbers. He's averaging 14 and 13, so it is good numbers. But that's just because he plays. The Hawks. He plays good with the Hawks. You know what I mean? He likes the way they play. Face to the basket. Dunk the ball.
See, this is why I chose this category, just because I knew we'll have different opinions, and it's gonna be lovely. But now we go to Boston. Who do you guys got? Because me personally, I got Isaiah Thomas, but some could say Al Horford.
You have to give it to Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, of course.
He was on the team last year.
Still an all-star.
Yeah, still an all-star. I like Isaiah Thomas a lot.
I love him, and doing all this at 5'9", great. So we all in
Isaiah, yes.
Unanimous. All right, cool. Then Nets.
Gotta be Brook Lopez.
Anthony Bennett.
Oh, without a doubt.
Nah, Brook Lopez.
It has to be Brook
Bogdanovich definitely has.
Brook Lopez is the only guy averaging the most silent 20 you ever heard of.
It's because he's on the Nets. Yeah, I say Brook Lopez, but he can't grab a rebound for his life. And if Lin wasn't injured right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we would be saying Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin's dirty.
Yeah, no, he's not dirty. I hate him. But I only say that because of the Lakers' spite. But now we got the Charlotte Hornets.
Kemba.
My man is cooking this year.
Yeah.
Averaging 25 points a game on a good team.
Yeah, how does Kemba... The 25-5 is really good. And I feel like this guy gets no shine at all.
No,
Not
at all.
I got him on my fantasy team, so I get to witness every game, and I get to keep up with him almost. That's the best part of having
It's tough being in the East because they do have really good point guards like Kyrie and
20,
Isaiah.
25, 5, and 5.
Yeah,
don't forget the other
really
5,
good
man.
For a guy who's 6'1".
Mm-hmm. He's cooking.
Guard.
No love for Gilchrist or... He's good.
He's not better than Kemba.
Yeah, Batum's really good.
Yeah.
But
Frank Kaminsky.
That's true.
Just throw that name.
Now we got the Chicago Bulls next.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
No love for Wade.
Even though Wade is the more veteran type of player, and he
Butler's
does have
team.
three rings. It's Jimmy Butler's team. Even
Butler
Dwayne
the
Wade
captain. No. Yes. Yeah, I say Butler as well.
Butler averaged 26 a game. That's insane.
Yeah, Cat, and then we got the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron. No Kevin Love. Richard Jefferson. J.R. Smith. No, not at all. Anyways,
Then you heard the chirping in the background.
Kay Felder.
The Mavericks.
Mavericks Dirk.
No, it has to be. Well, he's out right now.
No, it's with injuries.
Best player on the team is Dirk.
No, he's aging. Best player on the team.
I might have to go with Barnes, bro. I might have to go with Barnes. I say if Dirk was in the Mavericks, he wouldn't be averaging more than Barnes is.
Yeah, he can't be.
No.
So I would.
20 and
Dirk's
5.
one of my favorite players. That's why I just back him up on that. Dirk.
Yeah,
I'd give it to Dirk.
And honestly, when I say Barnes, every game that the Mavs won, it's all because of Barnes.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's a few, but he's a single man team.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Barnes. Then we got the Denver Nuggets.
You hear the chirping?
No, I was yawning.
Honestly, that's a team where I don't even know half the roster.
Yeah.
Kenneth Faried.
No. This is why you need to do research, because it's Wilson Chandler, who I completely forgot was on the team when I was thinking it. He's averaging 18 points a game, bro.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. Like it completely lost my mind that he was on the team.
I do think Gallinari's a little bit better player just because he's so dominant. You know what I mean? The guy, he's a huge guy.
The Knicks should have never traded him.
Yeah.
And didn't you guys have Wilson Chandler as well?
We traded both of them for Melo.
Yeah.
Come on.
And David Lee.
A guy who can spread out the floor. He played, you know what I mean?
Are we still going to talk about how Wilson Chandler and Gallinari are still on the Nuggets?
Yeah.
And they're still, putting up points?
I don't know.
So silent.
Yeah, it's really been dead. And Wilson Chandler is averaging 18 points a game and 7 rebounds.
How?
It's pretty silent.
I completely forgot he was in the league.
I don't get that.
Hey, maybe the Clippers should trade for him. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Yeah, that was just a weird team, to be honest.
Kenneth Faried.
Because
I have to give it to him.
Before we got into this, I asked Jesus if he'd done his full-on research, and he was like, yeah, throw me a team. And I was like, Nuggets. And he was like,
Kenneth Faried.
Yeah, that really is a silent team. Moutier, can't forget Moutier.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty good sophomore. And we got the Detroit Pistons. We all in agreement. Reggie Jackson.
Ish Smith.
No, sir.
I got Drummond too, no doubt. Tobias Harris. What about Tobias Harris though? He's averaging the most points on the team.
He's doing good on my fantasy team.
Andre Drummond.
He's not a scorer anyways.
When he's dropping 15 and 14, double easy, and the guy's so dominant, he's gonna be an all-star.
That's very true. Now we got the Warriors.
Go ahead. Can I just throw this back to Andre Drummond? Do anybody know what his nickname is?
What?
Big Penguin.
Oh God, the big baby. Yeah, the Golden State Warriors.
That's hard.
This is a tough one.
Really is hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It has to go to Steph Curry just because he's been on the team. He won 2 MVPs on the team.
My heart got to go to Curry.
I literally wrote in my notes, heart wants to say Curry.
Yeah, it's hard not to say it's his team. He has to
Durant's averaging more points, more rebounds.
That's just more touches.
That's more touches.
If you look at it, like, why did KD come to the Warriors?
To play with
Curry.
Yeah, because last year Draymond was leading. Draymond Green was leading the team in assists. You know what I mean? So it's not that Steph Curry was only leading in 2 categories, and now steals and points.
Yeah, and then we got Rockets.
James Harden.
I was gonna say let's say our answer in symphony. Way to screw it up, Jesse. Shit. James Harden, clearly.
Yeah.
Pacers. Paul George.
Enough said.
Cool. Clippers.
Chris Paul.
Blake Griffin's arguable, though. You know what I mean? Just how much he does.
I was looking at it, man. Blake Griffin really is arguable.
Yeah, because Blake Griffin, he's a...
I go with Chris Paul, but I got no problem with anybody saying.
Would you rather build the team with, Chris Paul or Blake Griffin?
Blake Griffin.
He's younger.
Blake Griffin.
If it was a young Chris Paul, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like in their primes.
Yeah, but this is... we're talking about as is right now. Best player right now. I might say Griffin as well,
I gotta go with Chris Paul.
He's averaging 21 and 8.
I know.
You know what I mean? Those are big time. And 5 assists for a big guy. He's developing so well.
He's one of the people that fit into this league's centers, power forward, like the position, what the position is now.
Yeah, if you go to small ball, he can play in that. And he can play in the big
man, I don't know. I almost wish he wasn't on the Clippers so I could see what he could really develop into.
Chris Paul, he runs the team. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Yeah, he's a better player to me.
Now, this is a really hard one for me. Lakers. Think about that.
D'Angelo Russell.
You got Russell?
It has to be. He's going to be the face of the team, you know what I mean? So.
All right, I'm gonna say something.
Or Jordan Clarkson.
I got Julius Randle.
Really?
I got Julius Randle.
You seem like me like a Draymond, kind of like...
That guy is a monster, bro. I'm riding that Julius Randle bandwagon this year. He is literally... What I'm seeing him do is unreal. I never thought I'll see that Julius Randle.
Luke Walton changed him.
Yeah, he really did.
And it's because Kobe's gone too now that he could shine more, you know?
No, he really did. Because last year, if you told me, like, I would say Randle, I would have disagreed entirely. Because I thought Randle was just going to be a solid player. I thought he was going to... I never thought he'd be an all-star. I never thought he would be. But he's really shocking me. And I honestly say Julius Randle. Stats might say otherwise, but when you see him step on the court, it's a different game. I watched every Lakers game besides one because I was working, and it's a different game. He is cooking.
You know who's going to be a feature of that team that you can't lie? It's going to be...
Ingram. Yeah, he just played yesterday, and he did shoot 3 for 18, which looked bad. But
3 for 18?
3 for 18, which is equivalent to 1 for 6. I understand. But if you actually see him play, he grabbed, I think, 9 rebounds, and he's still young, and all his shots were close. It wasn't like he was...
They're comparing him to a future KD, so maybe.
I seen the thing that said baby KD blocks real KD.
Yeah, you see the block him.
I don't know. I'd have to give it to Russell.
Which is a hard job to do. You know what I mean? When KD jumped, the dude's like 10
he's
feet in the air.
He's 6'11".
And his arms are just... Ingram is...
He's big too, yeah.
But we got the Memphis Grizzlies.
Marc Gasol.
Mike Conley.
Really?
Yeah.
Marc Gasol is grabbing...
coming off a big injury last year.
All right, Jesse, I want you to understand. How many rebounds do you think Marc Gasol is averaging?
9.
5. Averaging 5 rebounds a game as a 7-footer.
Yes,
please check that for me, because that's what I saw earlier. Maybe I was looking in the wrong category.
I could grab 5 rebounds.
Jesse, you can barely grab 5 donuts.
That's true.
No, you can. I'm lying.
I can't put them all in my mouth at the same time. Though.
Pause. Well, hold on. As we're fact checking for Marc Gasol,
Marc Gasol is averaging 17 and 6.
Still,
you can't be doing that.
Yeah. Westbrook is getting more boards than him.
Yeah.
Just to throw
Westbrook's
that out.
getting more boards than a lot of people. Yeah. Now, speaking of a guy who gets boards, Whiteside. Yeah.
Guy's averaging, 15 and 16?
Tyler Johnson's looking pretty good, too. Justin Winslow looking nice as well.
They're not leaders.
Yeah, not at all. Bucks. We all going with Giannis. Antetokounmpo.
Yeah,
I love saying the name.
He could be this is another guy who's going to be...
He'll be an all-star.
Yeah. Now, this is one that's really up in the air for a lot of people. Timberwolves. Who do you got?
I know who you're going to say.
I have to go to Andrew Wiggins.
I got to go Andrew Wiggins.
You got to go with Cat.
Only why Andrew Wiggins, he's a little bit more older. He plays really aggressively. He's dropping 24 a game now.
He's a different player this year.
He's going to be the leader of that team.
If he played like last year, I would go with Karl-Anthony Towns too, but he's averaging more points, and when you see him play, he's looking like more of an aggressor and more of a dominant player.
Yeah.
And which is true.
I think that's what Tom Thibodeau wants him to become, is more of a dominant player.
Sides of the floor really well.
Of course.
Really well as well. I mean, so can Towns. But
another guy who can almost guard 4 positions, So.
I don't know. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is the better player.
Why?
I just think he is. He's an 88 in 2K. There you go.
Next.
Way to really make us look unprofessional.
Yeah, seriously.
About the New Orleans Pelicans.
We're talking about the New Orleans Anthony Davis.
Yeah, for real.
Anthony Davis.
Tim Frazier.
I'm honestly going with Tim Frazier. He's averaging 12 points and 8 assists a game, and he's playing phenomenal. He came off a 10-day contract. Tim Frazier is the GOAT. This is the triangle Tim Frazier. No?
Anthony Davis, I was just going to say, he has to be, I think, next to LeBron.
But Solomon Hill is really taking all the shine away from that team. Solomon Hill is averaging 8 points.
No.
I was trying to say, Anthony Davis might be the most.
Omar Sheik is going back to his Rockets ways and cooking every single. He's playing his heart.
All right, like I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted.
Okay.
Anthony Davis might be the most dominant player in the NBA next to LeBron James.
Tyreek Evans has made the most impact without even playing a minute on the court. He has been hurt and he's been giving his heart out every single game.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is the best player on the team. Yeah. Let's keep it real. He's averaging 31 points a game. 3 blocks is it? He's a phenomenal player, man.
Like 14 rebounds.
I could watch that man play all day.
Yeah, he's so dominant.
I hope he gets another player on that team or something. And Tim Frazier needs more love as well. But the Knicks. Now, we just had this discussion earlier.
That's hard. That is a hard topic. It has to be between Carmelo and
Porzingis.
Yeah. I'm going to have to say just Carmelo Anthony right now because he is the leader of the team.
He's the veteran type player.
If anybody says Porzingis, that proves that Carmelo Anthony is not a top 15 player of the game. Yeah. But Carmelo Anthony is the best player on that team.
But you don't want to take the shine away, you know what I mean?
I understand. Give him credit, but it's Carmelo's team. Without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
It will be Porzingis' team very soon.
All right, now the Thunder. We all got Oladipo.
Yes. Yeah. I had Roberson.
Roberson with his
that's Steve Adams.
Yeah.
Roberson has the best jump shot in the league.
Has to be, obviously Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. The man is a
monster.
I really do believe he's going to average a triple-double for the season.
I hope so.
And maybe most likely win the scoring title too.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, now let's try to be serious for the last few. We got Magic. Now, who do you guys got? Because this is a question.
That's really hard. That is a really hard. That's such a young team that is like, who do you really say is the leader of the team?
This is hard.
I don't know. I'm stuck between Nikolai Vucevic and Serge Ibaka.
I was stuck to that too. But man, Evan Fournier is a great player.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Honestly, for me, I'm stuck between Fournier and Vucevic.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
If you had to pick,
I'd have to pick Nikolai.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's good vodka.
Yeah.
What? Is that a vodka?
Yeah.
This is what I get for not drinking. But I actually say Evan Fournier. My man's averaging 18 points a game. He's doing pretty good.
You see him get choked?
He's the only person that never choked, but got choked.
Yeah.
But and we got 76ers.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Joel Embiid, who
obviously
rookie of the year and best player on the team.
Even when Ben Simmons
without a doubt,
I think he will be.
I mean, Joel Okafor is good, but my man dropped 2 points yesterday.
Yeah,
2 points and I think 1 rebound.
That's not solid.
In a good amount of time playing, he's not on restrictions.
Joel Embiid, of course.
Mm-hmm. We got Phoenix Suns. Is anybody else in a disagreement? Not saying Booker.
Booker, my bad.
Who's on that team? Oh yeah, Eric Bledsoe.
You got him over Booker?
Yeah, all around. Yeah.
Whoa!
You don't think so?
No.
They even have what's his name?
Dude, Devin Booker. What he's
doing?
Eric Bledsoe has always been like the LeBron, but in a small package. But still, Booker, man, is
never
too much.
Comparison ever. Yeah.
No. Check the stats. Like literally, Bledsoe does it all. Bledsoe really does it all. Can you look up his stats while I rave about how good Devin Booker is? Because he is an offensive beast. He's 20 years old and is lighting the scoreboard up. And he's really just a phenomenal player. And he could also pass the ball as well. And he can swing the ball good too. So, and I do think Eric Bledsoe is a good player, but he's very injury prone, and that's going to affect him.
This man, he's like a low key Steph Curry the way he can shoot. Like his shot,
just bigger.
Yeah, you know what I mean. His shot is so good.
You almost like he look at his face, like he got a baby face. He's
like, what, 19?
He's a baby.
Okay, you ready to hear the stats? He's putting up 18 points a game, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said he's a little LeBron. He could do it all. Almost.
Yeah, he could do it all, but I think
he's 26.
He's too injury. Wait, what?
Yeah, he's 26.
Wow, he's young. Yeah. Oh my God, I did not think he was that young. But yeah, he's a great player. It's Booker's team now, man. That's how I feel.
I love Booker.
Down to Trailblazers. We all Damian Lillard,
Yeah,
Dame Dollar.
No, Dame.
Dame Dollar, and then we got Kings. DeMarcus Cousins, man. Come on, no doubt. Spurs all got
Kawhi.
Leonard. Yeah, I mean Aldridge.
He's promising.
Yeah, he's promising. He would be a number one player on a different team. Definitely.
And that's very true. Raptors. Now, last year this might have been a different answer.
DeRozan
without a doubt. Just what he's doing for that team.
Last year might have been Lowry.
Yeah.
But yeah, DeMar DeRozan is looking great this year, man.
Top 5 scorer in the league
without a 3-point. That's killing me right now. Like he's shooting less three than Boogie and and Davis are.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
That's weird.
Yeah, that doesn't even sound right. Now this might be a little harder one. I mean, the last one is Wizards. We all got Wall.
Yeah.
Even though Beal did light it up the last 2 games.
He did really well.
But before we do the Wizards, well, we just did them. But our last one is going to be the Utah Jazz.
It has to be
Gobert.
No.
It might be Gobert.
No, it has to be
Derek Favors.
No.
Joe Johnson.
No.
George Hill.
Exum? No.
It's not George Hill?
No.
Who do you got? Rodney Hood? What?
What's his name? I lost his name.
Yeah, he's such a good player that you forgot his name?
No, the white boy on that team.
Gordon Hayward?
Yeah, Gordon Hayward.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Wow, you fell flat. We all fell flat, I guess.
Like, I got so many
He said, no. Then who?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward definitely just because he's a perennial all-star, you know what I mean? He just gets no love where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely the other team because he will have most time with the ball in his hands. He can get guys open just because he is a threat at shooting. So
it's George Hill to me. He's playing next level this year. He's averaging 21 points a game and 5 assists. He's doing very good.
Is that what is it called? Most improved player too?
Honestly, but I feel like it's the same thing with Harrison Barnes where he just went to a different team. I know. Yeah. I don't know. George Hill's doing really good. Gobert, I wouldn't mind anybody saying him. I just think maybe in the future Gobert, but not right now. Yeah. Not right now. That team has a veteran in Gordon. It has 2 veterans that are too solid. But who do you say?
Gobert.
You say Gobert. You say Hayward. I say Hill. Yeah, that's the last one in alphabetical order. And yeah, so it's about to wrap it up. We're supposed to do what happened to that man. We're at an hour mark. We can't do it, unfortunately.
It's okay because we have next week.
We will get it next week. But before we say what happened to that man, here's what happened to that man. Kevin Martin just retired. He announced his retirement yesterday.
Did he really?
Yep.
Really?
A veteran guard who played 12 years. You guys did not know that?
Yeah, no. I didn't know that. I didn't see any update. And he's such a. I remember when he signed with Thunder. I thought that was going to be a
with
big
that Harden deal.
With the whole Harden deal. Perennial all-star. I'm going to miss him. You know, he played on the Spurs. I thought he was going to do really well on that team. A guy who didn't get a championship. But he's one of those guys who he most likely won't be a Hall of Famer.
No, not at all.
A guy who wasn't a scrub. You know what I mean? He was a good player.
And he never.
Shot.
And it wasn't like he was ever. You ever see like these signings now, or even when people are out of their prime, like, oh, why are they? Like, why you even picked him up? Yeah. But he was never a guy. He was always like, if you picked him up, he might still be dropping 15 a game. You know what I mean? Like he's great shot, weird form for free throw. But I remember he was a great free throw shooter. Yeah. I remember he used to put up records for that. But yeah, we're gonna miss him, man. Jesse, can we just lead off with the upcoming games of the season of this week?
We got New York Knicks and Charlotte tonight. What do you think?
At Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte.
I would say Charlotte takes this one. Yeah, they go 1-on-1 for right now.
Just real quick, jump back to Kevin Martin. For his career, averaged 17 points a game.
Oh,
I know.
It's not scrub numbers.
I know. It's not a scrub at all. What was his free throw rating too?
I know it's insane.
It was in the high 80s. He was a very good free throw shooter. Yeah, I remember because he was a great free throw shooter, and I could never make one. Yeah,
87%.
I can never make one in 2K because of his awkward ass form. But
yeah.
So Charlotte Hornets the Knicks.
Golden State and Atlanta at Oracle.
Golden State, yeah, okay. At Oracle, yeah, it makes all the difference.
Cleveland and the Bucks. I think that'll be
Cleveland. Yeah,
I think that could be a good game.
I would just like to see the matchup of Antetokounmpo and Irving. That might be a little fun. I just want.
They're not playing together. They're not playing against each other.
What you mean? They're not going to be guarding each other? Yeah, I know, but Antetokounmpo playing the point guard.
But still, that doesn't mean that the point guard's going to guard.
I know,
the
but
guard.
they might
end up forward.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know where you're coming from, but it's just the actual guard matchup.
Okay. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Los Angeles Clippers in Cleveland.
I think Cleveland again. You know what I mean?
You said at Cleveland?
Yeah.
Just because they struggle at that 3 position.
That's going to be a good game, though.
LeBron James is going to definitely play that game, so I definitely see them coming away with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Cleveland.
And the way
well.
Kevin Love's on his hot streak right now.
But we do get to see how Clippers match up against actual star team.
Golden State and Houston.
I think Golden State.
Okay.
Where at?
Oracle.
Yeah. Oh, Golden State.
Yeah. Toronto and LA.
Ooh. Well, this happened this week, but where is it at? At LA?
Toronto.
I want to nod this one to Raptors.
Yeah, if Randall and this guy can come back and Russell.
It looks like Clippers got a very tough schedule coming up, so this is going to be a defining week for them.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. The game I'm looking forward to, LeBron going to Chicago wearing a Cubs uniform.
That's gonna be very
because
cool.
that was that bet between Wade and LeBron.
But once again, I just don't think there's a competition between.
You don't think LeBron and Wade are gonna go at each other?
I think they will, but just the Cavs are just so much better.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna say Chicago. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm going with Chicago.
That'll be interesting.
Is that the last game?
Yeah, that's it.
Looking forward to. All right, and that is gonna wrap it up. You guys have any final thoughts of anything?
Not really. Just keep watching, keep listening. We'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
Love the game.
Yeah, and I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and a good holiday. Hope you got everything you want on Black Friday because I probably rang you up and I wanted to kill myself. That's going to be the end of this one. You guys have a phenomenal week. We'll see you next Sunday.
Peace.
Peace.